Complaining right now. This is the podcast session for Latinos in Silicon Valley. And we have a guest today who is my co-founder, Diego. Yes, let's go. I'm so happy.
Yeah, but first tell them what we do with Latinos in Tech.
Oh, yes. So this Latinos in Tech podcast is basically for like me and Sofia. I'm Andre. I'm CTO at Bytespace. He's the CEO at Bytespace as well. And Sofia,
I'm the CIO at Cimera.
Yeah, and we're building in Silicon Valley, and we basically tell our everyday learnings to the community of other founders out there so that, yeah, you can connect with us and cry with us as well. But yeah, today, you guys, well, you are tired, Diego is tired, because tell the audience, like, what you've been up to, like, why are you tired?
Well, first of all, we won a prize. It was a startup prize that basically consisted in you visiting many places and see how the startup entrepreneur journey was like. And in order to do that, I had to take 4 planes, and I've been traveling for 28 hours straight. And every single day I've been packed with activities, and we have been nonstop ever since. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
No time for sleeping.
No time. What about you? Why are you tired?
Yeah, I think same. Not same to your 28-hour thing, but there has been so many changes in the company right now. We're doing a lot of strategy changes, and that usually takes a lot of brain power, a lot of alignment meetings, a lot of like building pitches again, which I feel like I had not built a pitch deck in a year, and now like getting back into that symphony,
yeah,
into that vibe with the whole team and all that. And at the same time, I've been moving a lot because I was in Palo Alto, Berkeley, and San Francisco from yesterday to today. And tomorrow, I'm going to give a presentation at Stanford, and then I'm going to fly to Nashville immediately after. So I think I'm already tired from tomorrow, like spiked up.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot to take in. Okay, well, that's Sofi. So today, I wanted to start the conversation about customer research. Diego here, because he's our guest, he has been, so he went today to a Salesforce Tower, and he's been talking to a Berkeley professor in networking and basically getting a bunch of feedback on how to do customer research. And he has something pretty unique, which will kind of blow your mind. But in today's era of artificial intelligence, he has also put in practice, but also see other people find ways to do better customer research to iterate faster on products. So why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So when you're starting a company, a thing we had with Andre, which was our recurrent issue, was that we needed to find a lot of customers in order to validate our ideas. And how do you do that? You need to start marketing campaigns on Instagram, reach out to people on LinkedIn, find people that might use your product. But when you're asking questions to them, it's not a scalable thing. It requires a lot of time and effort in just finding those right people, and it's a pain. So what I noticed is that this was taking us so many hours, right?
Yeah.
So I spoke today to a professor which basically owns a huge company. He has been an investor in many, and he's a professor for fun in Berkeley. And he told me, what if you don't do the interviews? What if there was a better way? And his realization was that, focus groups have been a thing for many, many years. There's a lot of data about people which have been asked millions of questions, and that's already on the web. What if you just train an LLM model, you feed it the right data, and then you ask questions to it as if you were interviewing a person? You can do 70 interviews in just 10 minutes of just prompting it. So basically the thing at hand is not finding people, it's just how to engineer correctly an LLM and prompt it right so that it can create an Excel sheet of 70 potential customers.
Wow.
That's basically.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question there. Because right now in the AI, in the AI world, we always talk about like the importance of also validating with reality, because sometimes AI can hallucinate or it can give opinions that are not as updated as they are today. Did the professor mention anything about like actually also speaking to real users, or did he not mention that? And what do you think about that?
Yeah, he mentioned that as well, but also he told me something, and that's really interesting, is that many founders think they need to talk to about 200 people or 100 people in order to know their idea is the best one. Mm-hmm. And that's something you hear a lot, right? Especially here, everyone's like, yeah, talk to as many customers as possible and things like that. But the research shows that you can interview 10 people or 20 people, and still statistically you will get an 85% accuracy on the data. So the thing at hand is not interviewing more people, is interviewing less people that might be like more suited in order to find what you want.
I have another question coming, but you also
So yeah, it's pretty interesting, like, to think, because I'm the technical person in like the company. So it's pretty interesting to understand like what Diego says, because if you think about it, LLMs were trained on all public data on the internet, and that includes Reddit, forums, and like all this other stuff. So there's a lot of valuable data, and the thing that we weren't able to do before is to leverage this data in order to figure out quicker what the customer might want, right? And then put it in front of the customer. So with this strategy that the Berkeley professor said and that they all learned today, it's interesting that you could do that and get to the customer like that you're going to sell with a specific ICP or ideal customer profile, and deliver a product that already is user-friendly to them, you know? Mm-hmm. Because you used all this data that basically the LLMs were trained for.
Mm-hmm. Like you're not starting in zero, but starting with a strong foundation. And something I was going to mention is with what you said, that ask interview questions to like 10 people. I read a book that I think was called Talking to Humans. I don't know if you all read it. This is the book recommendation of the day, because you guys asked for it. But in that book, Talking to Humans, they also mentioned how sometimes getting interview feedbacks is very valuable, but one of the most valuable things you'll get from those 10 people is also the data, right? When someone's using Bytespace, for example, you not only get like the person saying, I understood or I didn't understand, but you also get data like of churn, I guess. Like if someone logged in and they just stopped using it, right? Maybe they told us they loved the product, but they left immediately. So that also gives you strong data. So I think pairing up both asking questions, but also having data or tracking consistently the data of how your users are actually using the product is very important. Because in this book, what they mention is that sometimes people cannot verbalize what they really, really think, and you have to be very observant of their actual behavior. How do you do that in Bytespace? Like, is it something that you're considering in tracking?
Yeah, so basically, Diego has like a background in data analytics. So basically, he tells me what things we need to track, and we actually like, I don't know, like tell us about like what we've been like tracking like about our customers and how we find out whether they use it or not.
Well, mainly everything. The time they use it, what is their specific purpose first, because everyone has different applications. If they actually click on things, if they give us feedback as well, like it's some important metrics to see how the user engages with your product in the end.
Yeah, and I think also one thing, we made a mistake, like when you're for example, we put time in order to, like do this custom dashboard, like for the company. So we would understand basically like, I don't know how much time each user is like, spending on the platform. And we would have like this million like KPI points that we would want to track. And we thought it would be good to track. But one thing we realized is like, we don't need to track until we need to start when we start asking ourselves questions, and then we go to the database and do that analysis. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, like you'll be spending like a lot of time on things that are not directly valuable to the customer.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, asking that. One thing that I wanted to add to that process is that it's not only important like to collect first of all, freaking cool use it? Everybody use it? Is it something like just you can start just by using ChatGPT, or is there a specific platform that people can use to do the customer research thing?
So the main two platforms that you can use, first of all, I discovered this like 2 days ago, and it's a really, really cool app, and it's called partyrock.ai. Yeah, I know, the name is kind of silly, but it's really useful. You know why? Because oftentimes the mistake we make as founders is that we start with the problem we think people have, but we don't have any data, and we don't have a set of things that we can do and watch exactly to see that someone is willing to pay for a solution we are thinking they want. So it's like we just think, oh, this guy might need this because this is his problem, but we don't know for sure. And when we're validating, we tend to skew over the data. So the solution is to do an empathy map. Basically, as a design thinker, you need to see different ways in which to validate with people, and PartyRock does exactly that. So you give it prompts on ideas that you might think are a good startup proposition, and basically this software just organizes these ideas in order of cleverness, basically. And then once it does that, you tell it to generate user personas, and it actually generates people, and they start interacting with your idea as if you were talking to someone. And then the best part is that they also have a simulator. So it gives you like an outline of questions you can ask the person, and you start asking it, and you are just prompting it, and in the end it creates an empathy map where it says what the user says, what he feels, what he does, and it gives you the complete spectrum, and you don't have to do anything. It's all AI generated. That's really useful. And also I recommend using Claude, because Claude has the integration that allows you to use more qualified data sources, and you can upload your own. And I've been using it and playing it with PartyRock and Claude, and it's been working out perfectly. So
yeah, very, very useful.
Useful resources. Write them down. We will add them in the below. And right now we're getting to the end of this, but I just wanted to add. So right now we spoke about things about how you can start doing validation without actually going to 200 users. That's very interesting, because I was once in a startup accelerator, and I remember there was one professor that was telling them, like all the students, she was saying, you need to validate with at least like 1,000 people and spend like a year just validating your product before you launch. And I was just staring at her, just thinking how many ideas will die because they will never be launched. Right. And that's the thing I wanted to add in the end, because validation is important, but one thing that will add more value to your validation is one thing we've talked about with Andre, is actually put your product out there, because without having your product out there, you cannot get these, like, whatever you do, the Party Rock thing, the whatever you do, or the actual users using it. If your product's not out there, we can't build upon it. So that's what I was gonna close with. We're getting to the 15 minutes because we're doing 15 minutes. I don't know if there's anything else you'd like to share with our community, Diego, today that we have you here. Anything else?
Fun fact, he's a magician.
Yeah, I'm a magician. Yeah, that's how we met. Yeah. What about my magician?
How we us three met? Like, what is this group?
But you only have 3 minutes.
So I met Andre when we were 4 years old, because I was in preschool and we were fighting over a girl, but the girl didn't want any of us, so we had sympathy for each other, became best friends. So then we were starting like meeting a lot, and we will do projects together, and it's been like a ride. We have been traveling the world and having experiences. It's been a fun ride. And Sofi, I met her because of Katerina. Katerina is a friend of ours. We love you, Katerina. It was like a random dinner, right?
It was her goodbye dinner.
Yeah, her goodbye dinner. And I was there. I was meeting some people, and I was talking about startups, and actually you started asking really good questions. So I was kind of impressed. I was like, yeah, this startup. and what tech stack are you using? And I'm like, yeah, it was like really, really spot on questions, clever ones. So I started talking to her, and I don't know, it was a natural bond, and yeah.
And I just want to add to that the real reason why I talked to him is because he's a magician. And I was shocked. And I just wanted to learn his secrets of magic. That's why I was asking questions. But yeah, you should check him out. We're going to put his Instagram below. He really blows your mind. I really believe it's actual magic. Like, it's not tricks. I think there's something deep there. It's wild. But it's super good to have had you here. I know we're going to have you possibly in other episodes, because how long are you going to stay here in the valley?
For 3 more days.
3 more days?
Then he's going to Japan.
It's really fast paced. Then we're going to Tokyo, and you know, over that side of the world, things are really weird. But
What do we want? No, but he's coming back. He's coming back after all of those trips. But yeah, okay. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and reach out to us if you want to meet. Like if you want to come too. Like,
invited to our sofa.
yeah, if you're in San Francisco, you're invited to our sofa and tell us your story. Like, that'd be so cool. So okay, we'll see you tomorrow.
Love you. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Yeah.